Okay, this is part 4 of What's Really Coming, a Counterfeit New World Order and a Real Great Deception. Before we start looking at some of the big conspiracy theorists and their New Age beliefs, I want to firmly lay the historical and spiritual background for all of this, and go into the deep connection between the New Age and the Truth Movement. As I alluded to at the end of part 2, the key to understanding all of this is Gnosticism. And for those who don't know about Gnosticism, Gnosticism arose immediately after the New Testament was written in 2nd century Judea, and it taught the exact opposite of what the gospel writers were teaching about Jesus and the exact opposite of what the Old Testament teaches about God. Gnosticism's fundamental teachings are essentially the same as the New Age, which is the modern form of the mystery schools. And the New Age is really an umbrella term for all of those spiritual teachings which are traced back to the mystery schools, the secret pagan orders that taught ascension, achieving godhood, and worshiped the serpent as the great enlightener of mankind. And this is how I try to explain the New Age to people. The New Age is like ice cream, and the New Age, like ice cream, has many different flavors. But all of the flavors are ice cream. You know, they all have the same fundamental ingredients. All the different flavors, they're all still ice cream. But each flavor of ice cream has its own specific characteristics that make it a specific or unique flavor. Chocolate, vanilla, cookies and cream, rocky road, whatever. They're all different flavors, but they're all still ice cream, and that's how it is with the New Age. The New Age is like the broader category of ice cream, and you have all these specific flavors. Freemasonry, Illuminism, Rosicrucianism, Buddhism, Hinduism, witchcraft, Theosophy, and of course Gnosticism. And so, like all the other flavors of the New Age or the mystery schools, Gnosticism teaches ascension, reincarnation, enlightenment, that our souls or spirits have always existed eternally, and that we're all part of God or the universe. And Gnosticism teaches that you become enlightened or awakened through the acquisition of special knowledge or gnosis, which is where the word Gnosticism comes from. And essentially what this special knowledge is that enlightens you or wakes you up is that you are living in an illusory reality. You're living in an illusion. You're living in a fake reality under the control of evil spiritual beings called archons. And if you've ever seen the movie The Matrix, that is exactly how the Gnostics view the world. That our real selves are asleep, that we're living in this illusion or made-up reality created to control us and keep us spiritually disempowered. And the tentacle things called the Sentinels in the movie, those are essentially meant to represent the archons of Gnosticism. They make sure that we remain asleep and unaware of the true reality and our true power. And what Keanu Reeves' character, Neo, essentially goes through in the movie is a Gnostic awakening. All the stars in the movie, they all have these superhuman powers, and Neo progressively gains these superhuman psychic and telekinetic abilities through the course of the film. And his character's name, Neo, is no accident. It's chosen intentionally. Neo means new, and so Keanu Reeves' character Neo represents the new age, the new man, the new human, one who's awakened out of the material prison of the body and the earth, and who has tapped into their own magical, godlike powers. Here's the Wikipedia entry for the synopsis of the movie. Quote, The Matrix is a 1999 science fiction film written and directed by the Wachowskis, starring Keanu Reeves, Lawrence Fishburne, Carrie-Anne Moss, Hugo Weaving, and Joe Pantoliano. It depicts a dystopian future in which reality as perceived by most humans is actually a simulated reality called the Matrix, created by sentient machines to subdue the human population while their body's heat and electrical activity are used as an energy source. Computer programmer Neo learns this truth and is drawn into a rebellion against the machines, which involves other people who have been freed from the dream world.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
The Matrix.
Do you want to know what it is? The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. Even now, in this very room. You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church, when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth.
What truth?
That you are a slave, Neo. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. a prison for your mind. Unfortunately, no one can be told what the Matrix is. You have to see it for yourself.
Now, the very title of the film, The Matrix, is Gnostic, the control matrix that today's New Agers say we are living in. And you will often hear conspiracy theorists use this term, control matrix, or just simply the Matrix. They use that term all the time because that's what they believe is going on. That evil entities, whether it's a secret human power structure or whether it's actually a hierarchy of spiritual entities, have created this false reality to feed off of us and keep us enslaved. And the point is to break out of the Matrix and destroy it, to awaken and destroy the Matrix. And that's the Gnostic awakening. And that's what the conspiracy theory media is doing. It's telling people about this control matrix and telling us that we have hidden power within us. And this is the Gnostic New Age spiritual message that is often tied in with conspiracy theory. We have spiritual powers that we can activate, that the elite have hidden from us, and we must rise up together as one human family, destroy the Matrix, overthrow the elite, and build an enlightened global society free of slavery and control. And again, the main theme here is awakening out of our sleep, awakening to who you truly are, awakening to the reality of the powers that control us and keep us enslaved, awakening to our true power. Now here's the real satanic twist to this whole thing. The leader of these archons, or spiritual rulers according to Gnosticism, the leader of these evil spiritual powers who enslave us, is Jehovah, the God of the Bible, the God of the Old Testament, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And according to Gnostics, Jesus is not the son of the Old Testament God. He's not, the incarnated God of the Old Testament as biblical Christianity teaches. The two are completely different opposing entities. The God of the Old Testament, he's the enslaver of mankind who created this evil material world to enslave us all. And it's Lucifer, the serpent, who came in the Garden of Eden to give us gnosis, to wake us up, to help give us the knowledge that Jehovah was trying to keep hidden from us. So again, according to Gnosticism, we're living in an illusory control matrix meant to keep us enslaved, and the leader of it is the God of the Jews. Now, I use the term the God of the Jews because this is going to be really important in understanding the anti-Semitic tendencies of conspiracy theory. Because over and over again, time after time, the main evil group controlling the world, whether it's real or not, according to conspiracy theory, the ones enslaving the human population are the Jews. Mostly it's the Rothschilds. The Rothschilds are a Jewish family. And I hope this will start to make more sense as I go along. But I want to be clear about something before I go any further. I am no apologist for modern-day Jews or modern-day Israel. Jews need Jesus just like every Gentile, and Israel is using a demonic symbol in their flag. I'm no apologist or denier of whatever Jewish Illuminati groups may actually be in control of the world right now. But you have to understand that the mystery school initiates, the New Agers, the Gnostics, the Freemasons, they see no difference between a fundamentalist Christian like myself and a modern-day Jew. Because to them, we both worship the same God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the God of the Old Testament, Jehovah. And like I've said before, this is all about a satanic Gnostic war against Jehovah, against the God of the Bible, the God of the Jews, the God of the Christians. And again, I'm talking about this from their perspective. As a Christian, I know that the modern-day religious Jew does not worship the same God as I do. I get that, but from the mystery school perspective, the Gnostic New Age perspective, Jews and Christians are all the same because we all worship Jehovah, the God who tried to keep mankind enslaved in the Garden of Eden. So you have to keep that in mind. You have to keep their perspective in mind for this to all make sense. And from their perspective, modern-day Jews and fundamentalist Christians, quote-unquote fundamentalist Christians, which means Christians who take the Bible literally, we're all children of the evil Jehovah. So, getting back to Gnosticism and the control matrix, I'm going to read something from a guidebook to a lecture series called The History of Christian Theology. It's supposed to be a textual counterpart to this lecture series on Christianity. And Professor Philip Carey, he gives a good summary of Gnosticism and uses a word that is very, very key to this whole puzzle. He says, quote, "For Gnostics, the physical world, including earth and heaven, planets and stars, is an evil prison for our spirits, which come from outside this world beyond space and time. The angels in the heavens are often called rulers or archons. They are evil and try to block the soul's escape from this world after death. The soul or spirit is divine, belonging to the other world, which is why it wants to escape this world and all bodily things where it is not really at home. So hopefully you can see that conspiracy theory is actually built into Gnosticism. It was built into Gnosticism from the very beginning. This is not a recent development, and according to Gnosticism, there is this massive conspiracy against the human race to keep us spiritually asleep. Remember that, a massive conspiracy against the human race to keep us spiritually asleep and unaware of our true God selves. Now, if you remember this book I referenced back in part 2, Black Sun, Aryan Cults, Esoteric Nazism, and the Politics of Identity by Nicholas Goodrick Clark. I told you I'd be returning to this book a lot because it has a lot of very important information, and we're going to keep coming back to this book as we unpack all of this stuff. Goodrick Clark also picks up on this connection between Gnosticism and conspiracy theory, and how conspiracy theory is at the very core or foundation of Gnosticism. And remember, he is not a Christian, so the fact that he's also seeing this connection should give some weight to this. Obviously, he's not coming to the same conclusions about what it actually means, but as far as the evidence goes, he sees it too. He says, quote, "As we have seen, conspiracy theory may be traced to ancient religious ideas involving humanity's thrall to an evil, lower God who created matter and the inferior realm. Only the intervention of a higher, merciful God can enable man to attain spiritual redemption." So that's Gnosticism he's referring to, ancient religious ideas involving humanity's thrall to an evil, lower God, that's Jehovah, who created matter and the inferior realm. The evil, lower God who created matter, the God of the Bible according to Gnosticism. So from the Gnostic's perspective, the God of the Bible is evil. He's the one who tried to enslave us all in the Garden of Eden. He's still trying to enslave us all. He and his army of archons or angels, and are trying to keep us spiritually unaware or asleep to our true godlike selves. And he and his army of archons have been the leaders of this massive conspiracy against mankind to enslave us and keep us from waking up. And going back to Professor Carey, I'll read what he said one more time. "For Gnostics, the physical realm, including earth and heaven, planets and stars, is an evil prison for our spirits, which come from outside this world, beyond space and time. The angels in the heavens are often called rulers or archons. They are evil and try to block the soul's escape from this world after death. The soul or spirit is divine, belonging to the other world, which is why it wants to escape this world and all bodily things, where it is not really at home." The key word he uses here is prison. The physical world, the earth we are living in, is an evil prison. Modern conspiracy theorists and New Agers use this word prison all the time when speaking about the control matrix that the evil shadow groups have built to enslave us and to keep us asleep. Prison or prison planet is a buzzword for the whole genre of Gnosticism, New Age, and conspiracy theory.
Born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind.